What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video, guys, I have quite interesting news. First of all, I will show you some explanation from Scott Trott in regards to the most recent actions and the activity of people who try to push his case down. On top of that, guys, I will show you that the most recent lawsuits that were filed by several people from MMTLP community and that are quite similar one to another might be very successful, but not in the case that you might think of. And I will show you in details what I'm talking about. But before we dive deep into all of this, guys, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm and drop me a line in the comment section if you think my videos are valuable for you. And let's start with this tweet that was written by Scott just several hours ago. And he wrote, MMTLP army. The true assholes in this entire MMTLP situation might not be the professional parasites in FINRA or the crooks like Burda and McCabe with the scam oil fields or the hedges and brokers who had the horsepower to simply steal everyone's money with the December the 9th, 2022 U3 nuke. The true assholes are the people who 2 years on continue to have zero or nominal investments in MMTLP and MBH and just daily run their mouths at how dumb the MMTLP investors were and just about daily pick and create a new topic to run at everyone during the holiday season. There are people that I'm not exactly fond of in this mess, but I can honestly say when you daily grind on anyone who has been harmed by this coalition of the crooked in the market and then thump on your chest and point how smart you are and send hours daily poking, prodding and reminding people of their losses, you are the very different strata of the lower life form. In short, if you need that much ego validation, that 2 years on you need to cascade those that are hurting. Despite you having no investment in MMTLP at all, you are in essence the epitome of the ghost of Jacob Marbury, broadcasting to everyone how proud you are to wear the chains you forged in life. This Christmas season, never noticing that in your hubris you morphed into Ebenezer Scrooge and the ghost of Christmas future never showed up to redeem your story as. In short, knock it off and leave the walking wounded alone. So guys, I have to admit that yes, I also see these people who doesn't have any shares and who continue to push the case down, push the case of MMTLP down, and who are continue to say bad things on a daily basis on people who made this investment. I have to admit that at least it is not fair. And I have to admit that this situation is not healthy at all. That is why, guys, please stop doing this and just focus your efforts on the main goal of MMTLP community, to have a resolution. So let's take a look at this tweet that was reposted by John Burda and that was originally made by RareDD. RareDD 12 hours ago wrote this. The amount of meetings is one thing, and by the way, he answered to the question of Happy and Positive, and Happy and Positive wrote, what caused the sudden increase in meetings between SEC and FINRA in 2021? Why are they still meeting at such an increased rate? Do they have something in particular to discuss? And RareDD responded, the amount of meetings is one thing. The other thing that's questionable is the meeting participants. Never was these FINRA staff members present in the SEC chair meetings with FINRA. Then all of a sudden they are meeting religiously. And these are names that appeared in the MMTLP for a thread, the thread concerning conversations between FINRA and the SEC about MMAT and MMTLP, that FINRA somehow didn't bother mentioning in their March 2023 FAQ for transparency. Seems seems like it was pretty pertinent. Image 1 shows how the meetings appeared before MMTLP became tradable. Image 2 shows the first meeting that occurred after MMTLP became tradable. All meetings since then have never gone back to the way they were in Image 1. Image 3 provides a visual of the initial participants. Image 4 shows the participants in the first meeting after the U3 halt of MMTLP, the sixth meeting that most of those same participants had with Gary Gensler that year, not including at least 2 other meetings with his staff that didn't appear on his public calendar. This is a story here, and he added these screenshots with the schedule of all of the meetings. As you can see, before June the 30th, it was basically not so many meetings, but right after MMTLP became tradable, they had plenty of meetings, and the schedule is quite intense. And definitely it is just speculations, but these speculations might be a part of a huge puzzle that will definitely expose a lot of wrongdoers from the authorities' side. On top of that, guys, RareDD published this list of meetings just basically a couple of days ago, and he wrote, a new Gary Gensler SEC public calendar was recently made available. Back in May 2024, there was yet another meeting with FINRA, but with a slightly different set of guests worth looking into. Also, he met separately with Patrick McHenry and French Hill. How about that, MMTLP? So, again, guys, on the one hand, it is nothing specific in these meetings, in this schedule, but on the other hand, it might be only a tip of an iceberg with a huge problem related to MMTLP stocks. So, let me show you another update from RareDD, at this time related to the companies who allowed position close only trading in MMTLP back in 2022. And let me quote to this. Here is an old post showing which brokerages allowed their clients to purchase MMTLP. Many brokerages only allowed for position close only in trading in MMTLP. 2 questions. Were there more? And second one, did any of these brokerages give the impression that they'd allow new buys after December the 8th of 2022? We already know that the first 3 had no plans to allow new buys in MMTLP after December the 8th. Who was FINRA allegedly protecting? And here is the tweet that was published on October 21st of 2022 with the list of broker-dealers who allowed to purchase MMTLP shares. And right here you can see just 8 names, but definitely it was more than this list. And I have to admit that yes, again, some weird facts that some of these broker-dealers had no plans to allow new buys in MMTLP after December the 8th, and some of them didn't mention about it at all. And how it is even possible if all of the broker-dealers have to follow the SEC and FINRA's rule, and they have all the instructions from authorities in order to make certain procedures. And this is another so-called gray area in this case. So, and let's take a look again at these lawsuits that were filed just several days ago by several plaintiffs from MMTLP community. And I covered it several days ago, and I have to admit that these cases are quite similar. But the list of plaintiffs made me thinking that I think with some exceptions, these lawsuits might be successful, and these people might receive the compensation for their shares. And I have to admit that this compensation might be quite substantial. So let me show you what I'm talking about. You can see that, for example, wait a second, I will show you this case. It is the case, wait a second, I will show you who filed it, of Matthew J. Peace, and on page 69 you can see, wait a second, it is a prayer for relief, and here is several bullet points that might be important. And guys, take a look right here. The plaintiff asks the loss of value and the liquidity of plaintiff's MMTLP share resulting from defendant's misconduct. 2. Damages arising from the suppression of the share price and trading opportunities caused by synthetic share creation, naked short selling, and the improper U3 halt. 3. Recovery of plaintiffs' documented financial losses, along with additional losses sustained from systematic harm to market value, including the unresolved status of plaintiffs' MMAT shares filed in a valid statement of interest with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court, Nevada. And guys, I have to admit that because of the list of plaintiffs where you can find NextBridge Hydrocarbons, John Burda and Gregory McCabe, let's put it this way. If judge rules in favor of plaintiff, in this case, in my opinion, the most vulnerable part of these defendants are Greg McCabe and John Burda themselves. Not even NextBridge Hydrocarbons, but these two people. And if plaintiff can prove that Greg McCabe and John Burda knew about the Orogrande Basin, that basically this basin didn't have and never had any oil and gas in it, I think it will be quite a substantial breakthrough in this particular case for this particular person. And in this case, guys, these people, and I have to admit that we have, if I remember it correct, about 8 lawsuits like this, and they are quite similar. You can, by the way, you can read all these dockets by yourself and make your own conclusion. But 2 main points of these lawsuits are following. First of all, they were filed right before the statute of limitations and the deadline of statute of limitations, and all of them have John Burda, George Palakars and NextBridge Hydrocarbons as the defendants. And definitely, I think these people have quite substantial chances to win this and to have at least a partial or a total compensation for their damages. On top of that, guys, I have to admit that it is very difficult for other people, for other MMTLP shareholders to benefit out of these particular lawsuits. The only lawsuit that allegedly will help the entire MMTLP community, guys, the only lawsuit is the lawsuit from Mark Basile, and where the plaintiff is Anna Trace, and this lawsuit was switched to class action lawsuit against TD Ameritrade, if I remember it correct. And only people who had shares and who has shares with TD Ameritrade will be able to be added to this lawsuit and to benefit out of this class action lawsuit. So definitely it is not the best news for all of the shareholders, but guys, I have to admit that if these lawsuits, these 6 or 7 or 8 lawsuits that were filed just before the statute of limitations deadline, if these lawsuits succeed, I think it will open another gate for other shareholders to file their lawsuits despite the fact that the statute of limitations basically expired. And I have to admit that we can use the people who can toll statute of limitations, like Daniel Oxer with his lawsuit, and with some actions and with some help of professional lawyers, I think we can toll the statute of limitations for the entire MMTLP community. And if it happens, guys, it will definitely be a huge breakthrough in our case, and potentially the first payouts might happen in the first half of the next year. And guys, it is just my opinion. I don't want to see that it is a sure thing, but these lawsuits make me think like this, because the defendants in this lawsuit identified for 100% correct. And guys, if you think that it is useless to sue NextBridge Hydrocarbons, John Burda and Greg McCabe, think of it like this. Do you care about the wrongdoers who misled the vast majority of MMTLP community and who made a lot of money out of this entire saga? Do you care about them? I don't think so. On top of that, guys, if you think that it is just a manipulation of the system, you have to think twice, because it is very difficult, in the vast majority of cases, it is very difficult to manipulate the judges and their decisions. And that is why, if the real wrongdoers are in the list of defendants, these cases might definitely succeed. And guys, let me tell you my personal story. I have a wife and 2 children aged 11 and 15, as well as a small dog. After 30 years of living in Russia near the Baikal Lake, we decided to move. Now we reside in Serbia. Although I don't own any MMTLP shares, I invest a lot of time creating daily MMTLP videos. I have been doing this every day without days off and holidays for more than 1.5 years. Now I wish to buy back this time from my family, from my children. We've agreed that I will ask the MMTLP community to support me, and I will give all the money to the children. Therefore, if you believe that I am providing useful content for you and wish to support me, you can join my Patreon account. For $5 a month, I will add your name to my list of supporters if you wish. Thank you in advance. The link you can find in the description below. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you.